Flosstube, it's Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. I'm back for an update video. Today is Sunday, January 29th, so we're almost finished with the first month of 2023, and I have got a lot of stitching to share with you. I've been very busy in January, and February's coming along. I can't wait till February. That's my birthday month, and then I have a whole bunch of birthdays to celebrate with friends and family as well, so February's a short, festive month. Plus, I have lots of new plans started for February as well. I'm not going to do much of a life update other than loving my job. Hobby and I went out with some friends on Friday and had some amazing sushi. Didn't realize this place was like literally walking distance. I mean, it's a long walk, but it's still walking distance. We really enjoyed ourselves, so that was fun. I'm going to share a lot of stuff I've been doing this past month. I got a lot of FOs, FFOs, whips, lots of things to share. And I'll do a shop update, a very short shop update at the very end. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I want to share my FFOs, and I'm going to start with some old things that have been FFO'd and then some new things that I've finished in FFO'd. So starting with one of my oldest projects that I have finally FFO'd is this from Lizzie Kate. So I framed this yesterday. I bought this frame. I know we were in the apartment, so it was probably last March, and I just finished framing it. So this is a Lizzie Kate chart called Promise Me. This is a quote from Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robin tells Winnie the Pooh. But I just think it's so sweet. And I'm going to send this to my son. I got the frame from, what is it called? Custom Frames Online. I'll put a link below. They have pretty good prices on their frames. Susie Reno told me about it, and I've been buying frames from them this past year. But isn't that cute? So sweet. So that's actually a present for my older son. I don't know if he wants it, but he's going to get it because he was a big Winnie the Pooh fan when he was a kid. And another FFO is Brick House Sampler by Brenda Gervais. Again, I bought this frame on the same site at the same time. And this is stitched on 46 count Beach Walk by Under the Sea fabric, using all the called for threads, I believe. But isn't that pretty? That is a beautiful chart. And this is the first time I've stitched on 46 count, and I thought it was fine. Of course, Under the Sea Fabrics is wonderful. So, beautiful piece. So I'll be happy to get that hung on my wall. I'll tell you a funny story. When we moved over here last year, we were in a 2-bedroom apartment and we were moving into a 3-bedroom apartment. So I was loading stuff into the truck to just drive across the apartment complex. And I had this chest that locks. Well, it doesn't lock, but it has a latch on it. And it had all these finishes in it. And when I walked out, the wind was so strong, it ripped that chest of finishes out of my hand, fell over, opened, and the chest was full. All these projects went just blowing across the parking lot. I think I found all of them, and the only one that really got dirty, I watched it roll into a mud hole, was this one. And it was only on the bottom part, so I was able to cut away the part that got stained. But that was a very traumatic day for me. And then my last framing FFO is Jeanette Douglas's Tiny Bouquet. So this was a freebie last year. She released a chart every month. And that's one of my goals, was to keep stitching on it every month to get it finished. And I did. And then I bought this frame, same place. I love this piece. I just think that's so pretty. I can't wait to get that on the wall. I think I'm going to hang it in my bedroom. So pretty. So thank you, Jeanette, for this wonderful free set of charts. And then one more FFO. My January start this year was Willing Hands, which is a chart in the Sewing Club book by Blackbird Designs. I had bought the finishing box from Teresa's Primitives. And that's one of the things this year is I'm trying to get through all of these things that I have the materials. I'm going to stitch them and finish them. So I did. So I started on January 1st, and I finished this, I think, on Tuesday of this past week. So it's on a piece of Victorian Motto 36 count. And I used most of the call for colors, but not all. I know that several, like the blue in the door and the windows, was a Victorian motto, and I think the red was a Victorian motto. And it's just on a little wooden box, but it's so cute. And I know this is going to sit next to me, my stitching spot downstairs. So those are my cross-stitching FFOs. Now let me share my wool applique FFOs. It won't take very long, so if you're not interested, you can speed ahead, but it won't take, and you're going to miss some amazing things. So what I have finished, my FFOs include this little wool mat. This is called Jenny Penny. I got the kit from Little Red Hen, and it was so much fun. When I first cut out all the pieces and put them down, I'm like, I don't think this looks like what I was expecting. But once you start sewing those into place, it's really pretty. Even my husband's like, I really like that, but it's just a little mat, and it is adorable. So I'll link Little Red Hen down below. So that's one of my wool applique finishes. I had a meeting this week on Friday with our A&P instructors, which can take forever to go through. And so it was a Zoom call, and I was just listening. So I got this little kit out from Let There Be Peace. This is from Jerome Thomas Designs. I picked this up at the Woolen Needle, and I actually finished it in 2 days. I'm trying to decide. I'm going to hang it during like July, but I may, instead of hanging it, just attach it to a pillow. I'm not sure. What do you think I should do? But it is really cute. I love his stuff. It is looks so detailed, but it's super fast to do. So that was my second wool applique finish. And then I also finished an ornament from the Jingle All the Way book. This is Debbie Busby. I'm in the Farm Girl Dry Goods club. I signed up the first set, and then I think she's got another round going. So I'll link her below as well. But it's well worth it. You get all the materials you need to do every project in here, and she sends you candy. I got one that I'm working on. But my finish is this little snowflake ornament, which is really cute. You get either a green, a blue, or a red, and I love green. I feel like Michelle knew that. That's why she sent me this. But those buttons are out of my maternal grandmother's button box. I have both of my grandmother's button boxes. I'm not sure how I ended up with those, but isn't that cute? And that hangs on this little cabinet back here that has all my pearl cottons and things like that. So those are my FFOs. All right, so before I show you my one finish that's not fully finished, I'll talk a little bit about what I've been doing this month with my stitching, and that'll answer a couple of questions I had on my last video. So this past month, I've been participating in Bringo. Bringo is a prompt, challenge that is on the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. It's a Facebook group run by Carolyn Zook and Robin. And you have a 25 cell table. You enter different projects in there, and then they will call a number each day, and you stitch on that particular project. You should have either 100 stitches or 1 hour invested on that day. But because there's so many extra days in January, they give you the last of January to make up for any that you miss. So I'm working today on one that I did not stitch on earlier in the month. So that's the Bringo. So with that, that means you have a different project every day. Also, I wanted to stitch on all of my whips this month. So I also went through my 22 or 23 whips that I started the year with, and I've worked on pretty much every one of them at least one day. And so that kind of slowed me down on a lot of progress on any one project, though I did get good progress on every one of my projects, which is really nice. So I haven't had very many finishes this month, but like I said, I finished the Willing Hands. That was a fully finished. And my last video, I showed the laundry club, or excuse me, the laundry company, where I finished all 3 pieces. And then the only other finish that I've had this year, this month, is Thankful for You. This is a chart from Salt and Pepper. She's on Etsy. It's Emily Call on Etsy. She has adorable charts. And this is just stitched on a piece of, I think it's 32 count, probably, I don't know, just a scrap out of my scrap basket. But it is so cute. And that is my other finish for the month. Okay. Instead of going through all of my whips, because I haven't made that much progress on any of these whips, I'm just going to highlight some that are either part of a challenge or that are kind of new, or I'm really impressed with myself of how much progress I've made. So I'm going to start with a new start. I am doing a stitch along with Abby Bella Stitch. It's called #StitcherABCs, and she and I are stitching the ABC Horn Book by Primitive Needle. And this is out of print. I was fortunate enough to get this. I mean, I've had several of the Primitive Needle charts because I was stitching back in the day. And Abby showed this. She did a chart parade on Primitive Needle, and I sent her a message when she mentioned she might want to start this. I'm like, let's start it. So she agreed and started the hashtag #StitcherABCs. And we started ABC Horn Book on January 17th. I actually did a Zoom call with her and some of her stitching friends, and it was so much fun, but I had to stop early because my sister called. But I did get a start, and then I haven't stitched very much on it. I'm hoping to join one of her Zoom calls again. But that's my progress. I'm stitching it on 40 count. This is Earl Gray by Kitten Stitcher. It's great fabric. It is fun to stitch on, easy to stitch on. Beautiful fabric. Highly recommend it. Kitten Stitcher. And my other start this month that I'm very proud of is the Stitchin' Mommy Temperature Butterfly. So I think this was released last year. If you're not familiar with what this temperature charts are, it's a chart that represents each month, and then there's something that represents the temperature for the day. So you can pick the high or the low. Some of them have both. I'm just doing the highs for Littleton, Colorado. And I'm trying to make sure that I do this by doing the outlines of the butterfly in a timely manner. I think that's what holds people back, is that they don't have the outline, so it becomes daunting when you're trying to keep up with it. The other thing is I'm not stitching on it every day. I stitch on it on Sundays. So I keep a record of, or I look up what the highs were each day in Littleton, and then on Sundays I fill in. Now, I have the January and February already outlined, so it makes it pretty quick for me just to go in and fill in those different patches on the wings. So January, you can see, has been very cold, where it gets greenish. Those are warmer days. But we're looking at a high of 6 today and a high of -1 tomorrow. So he's going to have a very dark blue bottom. But again, I want to make sure that I keep the next month ready to go. So on the next Sunday, which will be February 5th, my grandmother's birthday, I'm going to fill in whatever's missing for this next week, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch the March. So the first Sunday of each month, I will stitch the next month's outline. That's my goal. Okay, so those are 2 of my whips. This next one is an old whip. I think I started this in 2017, and it is the Vintage Eggs. And I saw these stitched by Little Yellow House Crafts, Nell, and they're just really pretty. And I started the rooster on some 28 count Monaco, black Monaco, and I was doing it 3/2, and I hated stitching it. So I threw that piece away. I had about half of him done, threw it away, and started over. So I'd stitched on this for about 2 days and finished him. He is so cute. And my husband came in and he's like, he's kind of cute. So I'm like, yeah, what do you think? Do you like all of these? And he and I discussed it. And he's like, you don't have to stitch all of those. So he didn't like all of them. So I don't either. I know I'm stitching these top 3. And I may stitch the pig and the duck. But I'm not doing these 3 for sure. So may do these 2. Now my Whip Go, Whip Go, another challenge on Facebook by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. You make a bingo card. You put in different projects and a challenge for each of those projects that you want to meet. And then Jessie Marie calls 2 numbers each month. She calls it the 25th of the prior month. So on December 25th, she called, what were the numbers? 6 and 10. I think that's right. Anyway, she called 2 numbers, and they were the Vintage Eggs and the next one I'll show you. And my goal was to finish 3 of these. I'm not going to finish 3 of these, but that's okay. I can continue working on them through the rest of the year. So I finished 1, and I've spent a day stitching on the flower arrangement. So working on the second one. So they don't take very long, but when I restarted on the rooster, that took a whole day, that I could have invested in another thing. Okay, so that's my progress on this whip. My other whip for Whip Go was Peace, Love, and Purpose by Plum Street. So again, someone was showing a chart parade and said they wanted to stitch this, so I sent them a message. It's Michelle from the Striped Rose, and said, do you want to start this? And she and I started it on Memorial Day last year. And I showed this in my last video, and all I had was just a little tiny bit of the flag done, not even that much. And I haven't done very much more. That is my progress. This was one of my Whip Go, and I was supposed to have it finished. That's not going to happen. But another stitching challenge that you may have heard of is 25 or 24/7, 25/7. You stitch 25 minutes every day of the week on a project. This is going to be my 25/7 project until it's completed, because I really love it. I absolutely love that tulip. Even though it's going to be solid stitching, I think the colors are beautiful. So this is my 25/7 project. Yeah, I said it right, 25/7 project until it's completed. So then I can mark it off my Whip Go board. All right, let's see. 2 more. Yeah, 2 more that I want to show. So the other thing that I've been working on quite a bit, because we've had a lot of snow this month, is my snow project. And it is called Evergreen, Ever Giving. It is a Leisure Arts Santa. It's in the Santa Remembered book, which was a series of books that came out in the 90s. And I collected all of them. One more page. And this is the project that I'm working on. And when it does snow, I may work on it for just 25 minutes, or I may work on it for longer. Really only been working on it for about 25 minutes. Last time I showed you, I only had up to about right here. And now we've got an arm. Everything below his belt is completed. And I'm making some pretty good progress. So I'm at least probably half done. So I'm stitching it on 32 count mystery fabric. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a, I'll think of it in a second. It starts with an S, Silk Weaver. I think that's from my stash of Silk Weaver, but I'm not sure. It's either that or it is an R&R fabric. It kind of feels like Silk Weaver. Okay. And then my other whip that I've been working on is one that has been a challenge for me, and I'm not sure why it's such a challenge because it's so pretty. It may be the fabric is really tight. It also may be that I don't have all the threads. I'm finding out that's a problem with me, that I need to keep all the threads close by so I don't just put it away when I can't find one thread. But it is Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street. It is so cute. I absolutely love this. It's been in my whip pile for way too long, about 6 years. But I have made some progress. I put in all of this fence and all of these pumpkins. And then I'm going to stitch on this for the next 3 days till the end of the month. So it is really cute. Get that ready for the fall. Okay, I think that is all of my whips for now. So my plans this month are to focus on some projects for longer periods of time. So I've done a lot of jumping around, stitching on lots of things in January. Just gives me a chance to, get excited about my whips again. But this next month, I want to focus on several projects to get them done. So I've talked about my 25/7. I'm going to do Peace, Love, and Purpose. And if I finish that, I'll pick another one. And then I've got 2 projects that I really want to focus on. And one, I'm doing the 7-day focus that Stitchy Sarah talks about in her videos. And I've been doing this since October, and that's Splendor of Florals. This is my oldest whip. It is my largest whip. And there are times when I'm like, I'm just going to give up on this thing, but I've got too far now that I have to keep going. So this is where I am at this point. I'm working on the February violets. And I just pinned it to my shirt. Oh, the things that I'm able to do. If I wanted to do that, I would have never been able to. So you can see the purple flowers. Those are the violets. I'm about halfway done with those. I've spent probably 9 days stitching on that total. And they are so beautiful. They have not been backstitched. And they're still that beautiful. But you can see how detailed these are. These were in the, I think it's just cross stitch from the 2000. Where did I put this? Do I have the date? It began in February 2010, so some old issues. And I have those 3 completed, which are the March daffodils, the May lily of the valley, the June roses, and I have the September morning glories completed. So my goal this year is to complete at least 4 of these by doing these the first 7 days of the month to work on those, but not necessarily every month. I'm switching between this and Autumn at Hawker and Hollow. The other thing I want to do is I want to continue to start projects because I only have 22 whips now, even less because I finished 2. But I want to start some new stuff, but I don't want big projects. One project that's been hanging out, and I absolutely love this, it was a gift from Teresa, is the garden mug. It's the Polish pottery series from Old Colonial Designs. It's not that hard. Those 2 birds, you can barely see them, but there are 2 birds that are over 1. but it's a complete kit and it comes with the mug and everything. And wouldn't this be beautiful to sit out in March? I know it has the little violets, but it's still green. I think it would be beautiful. So I want to get this done in February so I can have it in my decorations for March. So those are two of my big plans for this month. And I'll show, later in the month, I'll show you my other big project that I want to work on. But those are my main plans for early February. Okay, I usually don't feature a, purchases section, but I'm going to now. So, because I've been shopping. And a couple of things that I got in the mail. I am part of Farm Girl Dry Goods Patreon, and I'm in the tier where you get quarterly a fat quarter of her fabric, and I got that. This is called Norfolk. It is a beautiful color. Can't wait to use that. I also recently got the Primitive Quilts and Projects. I can remember the first time I found this magazine. It was probably in 2016, and I just loved it. It is exactly the stuff that I wanted to do. I'd never seen a magazine that had these, and I started subscribing to it. Well, at first I bought it at Books A Million, and then I started subscribing to it. And one of the first kits that I bought, let's see if I can find it. It was a series that included this little box and a notebook cover, which I don't know where that notebook is. And it also had this little sewing pouch, came with everything that's in there, and a little scissor keep. And the last part of the kit, it was a 4-part series. The last part was a bag that you could put everything in. I haven't finished the bag yet, but I finished everything else. Where is my notebook cover? Wonder what I did with that. Oh, I bet it's in that little desk right there. Oh, well, it's cute. Anyway, what I'm getting to is this reminds me of that notebook cover. It's another kit to make this little cute notebook cover. And my husband brought this in last night about 10 o'clock. And he hands me the magazine. And I'm like, oh, I love this. I looked it up, saw that you could buy the kit and purchase the kit. So, woohoo! It's from So Grateful Quilts. So I should be getting that. And that will be one of my April projects. Like I need another notebook cover. Anyway, so I just got that in. The other thing, on a Facebook group, I think it was Facebook or Instagram. I don't know how I saw this, but it was early one morning or really late at night. I don't know. Times you shouldn't be making decisions. But Quilter Station had a Blackbird Design exclusive. So it is Join Hand in Hand by Blackbird Design. And when I saw it, I went and I ordered the kit. So I have that. Came in very quickly. So it's Quilter Station. You can look at their website. So I got that. I've been watching a lot of reels on Facebook and Instagram, which means I'm seeing a lot of other stuff on those too. Probably should stop that. The other thing I saw is this new calendar display from Paisleys and Polka Dots. So I purchased this. I just need to start stitching. A lot of people are doing the monthly series by Hands On Design. So she has 2 different series. I forget what they're called. Anyway, I think I have both of them in my shop. But they're doing that. And I'm going to just decide what I'm going to display in there. I have several that are monthly series. Do I have one over here? I took one today. I'm trying to find something. I have a little tiny monthly series from the Heart Needle Art. I stitched almost all of those a few years ago, and I have yet to find something to display them on. I think that's too small. So anyway, those are my purchases that I can think of. So. All right, so giveaways. The giveaway last video was the 3 charts in the Laundry Company. And the winner for that is Lisa Hurst. So if you can email me, here's my email address. I will get this in the mail to you. Fortunately, all of my other giveaways have been claimed but one. The only one that hasn't been claimed is the chart for Candy Cane of Christmas. And this goes to Sandra Moore. Is that right? Yeah, Sandra Moore. So if you can email me, I will get this in the mail to you. All right, so this video, I'm going to give away 4 charts. Those 4 charts are from my stash, so I use these to finish projects. So they're not necessarily brand new. One of them I didn't stitch. I just decided I don't want to stitch it. But for my giveaways, please make a comment below, but don't say anything about giveaway or winning or anything that's going to alert those that are spamming so many different Flosstubers viewers. So with me, you need to be 18 years old, and I do not comment in comments. The only way you know if you've won one of my giveaways is you have to watch the video, because I just put the person's name and announce it. I do not contact them in any other way. So with that said, the charts that I'm giving away, the first is V is for Valentine. So if you're interested in this, just number 1, the numerical 1. The second is Needle Bling Design, We Welcomes February. So this is 2. 3 is Holiday Hoopla Valentine's Day from Brenda Gervais. 3. And then the last is a quilt pattern from Primrose Cottage. I made this quilt last year. It is super fun, super cute, super fast. I'm so excited. I'm going to take down all of my January decorations on Friday of next week and put all my Valentines. Okay, so that is 4. All right, so last thing I want to talk about is just a quick kind of shop update, not very long. I do have an online shop. It's Jen's Stitching Niche. I started an Etsy shop back in 2016, I guess, 2017. And it was very, very fun, and I did really great business. But last year, there were some issues, so I started a new website. It's just jenstitchingniche.com. I'm not as busy as I used to be, but that is fine. That is actually, it is perfect, the level of busyness that I am. But I still do have my Etsy shop. So I will have things on my Etsy shop, and then I'll have things on my main website. What I'm putting in my Etsy shop it's either overflow, where I've got a lot of one particular item, or it's things that I've had for a while, and I'm just putting it over on the Etsy site to see if I can get a little more traffic there. Every Friday, I run a sale of some sort. Usually it's 20% off a particular designer's charts. Sometimes it can be on fabric. I had a 15% off of fabrics I guess that was 2 weeks ago. I have a newsletter that I'm going to be sending out once a month. I was doing it a little more often, but I think that gets a little overwhelming. So I'm going to just do that once a month. And just giving you an update on things. I usually have a recipe, and then sometimes I do a subscriber's discount as well. This week started last Friday, goes through the 3rd of February. The charts in these 4 categories are 20% off. So Artful Authorings, Cottage Garden Samplings, Heart in Hand, and Prairie Grove Peddler. So anything that's in those 4 tabs on my website will ring up as 20% off. It's an automatic discount. But if you're interested, just every Friday, I'm Western, so it's going to be after about noon on Western time. Just go and look at the announcement bar, and we'll tell you what's on sale that week. So that's my update. I want to thank everyone that returns and gives me such wonderful comments each time I do post a video. I know I am inconsistent, but I enjoy the interactions through the Flosstube. So thank you for visiting with me. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks, and I hope to be back in 2 weeks. Thanks.